Alright, in this video, I changed my tranny cooler lines. You got 3 of them. The one coming back, the return from the cooler, which is up there. If we can get a view right there, you can see it. The return is good, probably starting to sweat right there. The main problem, went to drive the truck, and that one, this one, just plainly started to leak. So, that one actually goes into the radiator from the transmission, and then the other one comes out of the radiator on the top up there, and goes out to the cooler, and then this is the return going back, I do believe is how these work. And they run back here to and from, right back here at the transmission. So I went a different route. I did not buy replacement lines because I just think these are plain cheap and they're known for problems. I was going to buy the retro kit or get one made that goes over these lines, and I'm glad I didn't, because these must have been replaced already at some point, because they feel very cheaply made. Hard to tell in the camera, but to me, the rubber part is obviously very wore. That's how you can move it around so easy. And I mean, they don't look like they're rusty or anything like that, but this one I questioned because it was leaking up more at the top. So I went a different way. So here's the kit I bought. She pays the shop around. Can save some money out there. Got all kinds of adapters here. Here's all 3 lines. Complete hydraulic lines. They look very similar to what's on my New Holland 1025. And it also comes with instructions. So I will tell you right out, I got this on eBay. Looks like very detailed instructions, as you can see right there. Tells you everything what to do, and we're going to go through this. I have to get the old lines out first. And we're going to take and install these, look through these instructions. Because if I go back to the cooler, the clips that hold these in weren't very good. You can also see too that you got a rubber grommet in there. It looks like it probably will come out, but I think I'd rather go with the hydraulic lines and begin anyway, because I mean, you look at that. I mean, my my New Holland 1025 has hydraulic lines on it still from when it's new, and it's 12 years old now, and I use that thing pretty good. So, but yeah, we're gonna get this installed. What we're trying to get to. So here's our upper cooler line. And then down there is the lower cooler line. All right, these cooler lines can be troublesome. Plastic cover, and this one's not as rusty as the ones we're in the front, so just kind of got to get a tool in there to get that little clip out. Depending, I think it's the other way. So we're going to get this one out, and then that one out. This line, I believe, will be ready to be removed because this one went to the cooler. Yeah. And we'll get this out and then bring it back. All right, got the two clips that hold that together off. Now just a matter of, we'll put the truck back up in the air and route them out and disconnect them from the transmission. Alright, my recommendation is the one that goes from the cooler back to your transmission. If you're not reinstalling the factory line, which I highly recommend you don't do, because within a few miles, there you can see how that one was leaking. And a notorious leak there. This one here was the one, as you can see how soaking wet it is, but be prepared that it's going to make you a big mess too when you go to change these. But this is why I went with regular hydraulic lines. It's going to be so much easier to reroute it. A little challenging to fasten it, but what was giving me so much trouble was the holder between the two running back to the transmission. It just didn't want to let go, and then finally it just fell apart. So, yeah, my recommendation is cut that thing off. There's the major bend. This section here goes back here. You can see the other end where I cut it off. This folds down and then routes back the other way. So it makes it more challenging to route it back through amongst all the lines and everything like that. So, but yeah, my recommendation, cut that thing off. Alright, installing the one that comes from the transmission to your lower radiator is a bit more of a challenge. I actually had to disconnect it off the transmission, so I recommend installing it on the bottom of the radiator first. Your kit may vary. Even though this is a struggle getting this on, once this is done, I trust that I will not have any issues with leaks. And it's hard to film it and tighten this at the same time because you almost need two hands to make sure this is good and snug. There, and I think I'll be good. Feels good to me. My kit here has a specific way that they want you to install that, and they give a washer with it. Couldn't show you on the lower one, not very easy to see. There's an O-ring on the inside, then the O-ring on the outside, and I lubed it up with transmission fluid. And then they just want you to do it like that. And then, I think this is the right size, yeah. Again, you just want to snug that down. And then hopefully holding the camera. The upper one seemed to be a lot easier. Install this one. Probably one-handed. Maybe not. Take your inch, same thing on the top of this one. Just want to snug that up. That looks good to me. Now we can double check and make sure our lines don't touch anything. Be hard to film, so I'll probably put a wire tie on that right there. So, actually he's looking pretty good. And then go through and snug up all your lines. Now, what you want to do, I'll show you a trick for that. Something like this, especially with line fittings. In this case, I don't have big enough. I think I have an inch. You put your lines, your wrenches like this, and just kind of draw them together like that, in this case, because we can actually get good access to them. You don't want to get too carried away here, but you want them snug so they don't leak. Alright, finished this video up here. Got all the lines installed. Everything is finished up. You can see some spots there, like there's a wire tie there to hold together, keep it from the drive belt on the engine, fan belt. I got some wire ties here to keep it secure, keep lines secure on the front. And at the cooler, all tighten, all secure. Alright, underneath the truck, I even have to finish cutting them off. Ran them pretty close to where they were in the factory location to keep it away from the tie rod ends on the steering. You can see a wire tie there, and I wrapped it around the wiring harness where the original lines were. Also back here, I have to cut this off yet. Lines are all nice and tight, ran secure, and I ran it above the oil pan. Could be a problem, which I think they'd have to be removed regardless if you'd ever have to do a starter change, because right there's the starter. Don't seem to have an issue there, so I think I'm good there. But this here pretty well finishes up this job, as you can see. As another wire tie right there to tie it all in, but you can see it's all good. If you need to change your cooler lines, I recommend going this direction, because I do not think I'll ever have to change these again. So thanks for watching. This is GMAC. Like, subscribe, and see you in a few days in the next video. Thanks for watching.